Good morning traders, welcome back to my channel. This is Savage Pips. I'll be here for a daily market outlook. Now let's get right into it. Let's don't waste much time, let's get right into it. Now looking at EURUSD from the daily time frame, see that we have the swing structure which is currently bearish, and then we trace to the liquidity point, took our liquidity, and now we are seeing what the internal structure also was bearish. So yeah, we followed that internal structure all the way. Now looking at the 4 hour time frame, on the 4 hour time frame, see that you're having what? You're having a series of what? Swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low, swing high, swing high, swing low, and now you are now forming another potential swing low. Now looking at market structure right here, see that market structure is clearly into the downside. Market is clearly into the downside, right? Now this is the current impulse that market made into the downside. Yesterday I was talking about in my other video, I was looking for longs personally on here all the way toward this liquidity point, because within the overall impulse there was no liquidity within the impulse. So I was here looking for a counter trend trade all the way towards what, a liquidity point, which came out a lot of because we had a news, FOMC news, as you can see right here. Yeah, we had an impulse, internal structure which impulse to the outside. We took our liquidity there, we chose to the demand zone. After that, we saw the shifting structure, and then I was happy to look for longs from this position. Yeah, so and it's a lot, and yeah, the news came out, and then it came out a lot, right? Yeah, and also I was looking for a swing position, but market didn't really push into that liquidity point. So I just, yeah, the FOMC news came out, and then yeah, it was bullish for the dollar. So yeah, I had a loss over there, but it's fine. Now going back to EURUSD, you see that we have the current structure which is into the downside. That broke market structure and also took out liquidity. Right after a break of structure, what do you expect? You expect a pullback. So from here, I expect a pullback to form, and within this impulse, where can we locate liquidity, or what is liquidity situated? We have liquidity situated over here. Now looking at the 1 hour time frame as well, you see that we also have some form of liquidity over here. Let me quickly draw it. You see that here also we have a little a 1 hour liquidity as here. But for myself, the high probability trade will come if you tap into this liquidity point. Now let's draw our second confluence, which is our third confluence, which is our PVD. So now let's put the 0.53 retracement, right? Let's do the 0.5 retracement. Now look at you see that liquidity is also situated at 0.5 retracement, right? So now here what I would like to see is, after a break of structure, we expect a pullback, right? And I expect a pullback to start if maybe, for example, we break this high right here, then we break this high with a candle close, we trace, and then from there, then we can look forward long all the way to this liquidity point before looking for further short into the downside. Now, so that's what I'll be waiting for on EURUSD. For now, we just have to be patient with the market, right? You just have to be patient on it. It's just that you didn't take out this liquidity right here. This liquidity, I didn't take out that liquidity. Is it's fine. So we just have to wait for that on EURUSD before looking at any potential short position. Now let's see the opens. The opens is just a natural support and resistance area, right? The opens is just a natural support and resistance area, right? By eminence, you can go into the indicator and then search it out. Now we have the weekly also, and also the 3 monthly. So let's see how it goes. Let's see. You just have to wait for some reaccumulation before taking any decision. Now looking at GPUSD from the daily time frame. So that the daily time frame is bullish, right? The daily time frame is bullish to the upside. But now the 4 hour time frame, which is the internal structure, is bearish. So we see what we trade what we see, right? Not what we think. So now Since looking at the 4-hour time, if you see that 4-hour is bearish, have the impulse into the downside, that broke market structure, another impulse into the downside, that broke market structure, another impulse, that broke market structure. Now for myself, this was not a high probability trade for myself, because I mean, with this, the overall impulse to the downside, and there's no liquidity within the impulse. So market just came into this demand supply, came into this supply, and then what, sold off. And when the FOMC news came out, right, or during the FOMC news. Now looking at this, look at the current market structure. We are bearish, right? Market structure is bearish. This is the impulse that markets did push to the outside, that broke market structure. After a broke structure, we expect a pullback. So in any time soon, or maybe from next week, yeah, we can start that over, or we can see that overall retracement emerge. Now looking at a 1-hour time frame, we also have some form of liquidity within this impulse, some 1-hour liquidity. For myself, I'll take this as if you break this, then I'll take this as a change of character. Then that would then be telling me, okay, market is ready for the reaccumulation phase. So yeah, that's it. I'll just wait on that and see. Now let's have our 0.5 retracement, right? Our 0.5 retracement. Let's have our 0.5 retracement. Premium versus discount. Now I can't see the price has already started retracing, so we just have to wait and see. Looking at the opens, yeah, we don't really have any opens supporting our buyers, but yeah, it's still fine. So I'll wait on that. I'll wait. Now I just have to be a little bit patient with the market, right? Now looking at what's the name? Sorry. Looking at USDCAD, we are clearly bullish into the upside, right? No, there's no way to complicate. On the daily time frame, I think we took out these equal highs over here, right? And also we saw an impulse to the upside, that broke market structure, right? After a break of structure, you expect a pullback, right? So yeah, after a break of structure, we expect a pullback. So from many times to my expect but the pullback or the retracement to start or emerge. Now looking at the 1-hour time frame, you see that this is the current impulse that market made to the upside, right? That broke market structure and also took our liquidity, right? So for myself, yeah, this is the impulse. What's liquidity? Liquidity is situated. But for myself, this liquidity, they are disqualified. Why? Because they are the premium pricing. You want to be what? You want to be selling from the discount pricing. But regardless, market can still tap into this liquidity and push it upside. Because why? Because the dollar is very, very, very bullish, right? The dollar is bullish fundamentally. So let's see what happens. For myself, if we come to this liquidity point, I'll be looking for a 50-minute, a lower time frame confirmation just for them to enter out long position. So let's see how it goes on USDCAD. Let's see how it goes on USDCAD. Now looking at AUDNZD, right? The Australian versus the New Zealand dollar. We had on the 4-hour time frame, right? On the 4-hour time frame, had a push to the upside that broke market structure. We retraced the 0.5 retracement. We took out liquidity. We saw the shift in structure. But then, for myself, the reason why I was not favoring this AUDNZD short is because fundamentally the market fundamentally is bullish, and then technically is bearish, and fundamentals are keys, right? Fundamentals are going to give you direction, and then the technicals are going to give you your entry. Remember yesterday, guys, or it's not yesterday, it was Wednesday, right? I said to myself, I'll be looking for confirmation over here before I'll be entering any position, right? Any short position. As you can see, we don't have any shift in structure, we don't have any market structure shift. So for myself, I just stay out, and then yeah, the market continue pushing up. Now for myself, this is the current structure that market is saying. You have this impulse to the outside that broke market structure, right? You have that impulse that broke market structure, right? Now looking at this, for myself, you see that you are creating some internal structure. within that impulse. Looking at the 4 hour time frame for myself, I'm just gonna keep this very simple, guys. I see that we had a break of structure here. You had a break of structure here, right? You had a break of structure here, and then another break of structure over here as well. Another break of structure over here. Yeah, we had another break of structure over there. Now for myself, this is going to be my swing high. For myself, this is going to be my swing low. This is going to be my swing low. And my swing high is going to be somewhere around here. So for myself, I'll be looking for longs from this liquidity point, right? From one of these liquidity points. Yeah. And from here, I'll be looking for longs. If market give me the confirmation, the bullish confirmation that I need, to execute my trades, right? A market can still come for this liquidity. So yeah, let's see how it goes. But I just have to stay patient within this market, right? Just have to stay patient. So let's see. And looking at GPAD, look at GPAD on the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, GPAD is bearish, right? GPAD is bearish. We had an impulse to the downside that broke market structure. We traced to the 0.5 retracement. We have first liquidity, second liquidity, third liquidity. We took out the first liquidity, which is this liquidity right here. We took our first liquidity, but market didn't really react. We took out the second liquidity, and looking at the 4 hour time frame for myself, I see that the 4 hour time frame has shifted bearish. The 4 hour time frame, we have the impulse to the upside that broke market structure over here. Market took out liquidity underneath this black, this bearish candlestick. We had a push to the upside. Market took our 1 hour liquidity, push to the upside, and then we broke structure. We had a push to the downside, pull back, push to the downside, break the shifting structure. Now looking at this, you can say, okay, what you can say is, okay, we have our, what you can say is we have our swing low, our swing, we have our swing high, swing low over here. We have our swing. What you can say is we have our swing high, swing low over here. We have our swing high over here. Yeah, we took our liquidity, and then forward the market would need to push to the upside. But looking at this, you are seeing that we are not seeing any bullish confirmation, any bullish trend, because we had a push to the downside, we had a pullback, push to the downside, and then this is the current impulse that is currently in control. We don't have any shifting structure that is gonna tell us, okay, market is wanna shift. The market is shifting forward. This pullback, this bearish downtrend toward a bullish trend, because fundamentally, GPAD should also be a sell, should be bearish, because what, the pound is weak, it's relatively weak, and then what, the Australian dollar is strong. So for myself, this is the position that I'm waiting on GBP AUD. We had a first impulse to the downside, we had pullback, had a second impulse that broke multiple structure. Right now, this is the impulse that is currently in control. We have liquidity within the impulse. For myself, I can't draw the 0.550 yet, because I don't know whether this is where the pullback or the retracement is going to start from. We also took our liquidity, making this a strong high, making this a strong high, making it the probability is getting high on GBP AUD, right? So I'll look from that liquidity. I'll be looking for the market structure shift. If I get a confirmation, then I'll be happy to take some short-term shots, right, all the way to maybe towards this liquidity right here, and then the next liquidity is obviously gonna be the lows, right? So I'll be looking at that on GBP AUD. Now looking at gold. Last of all, looking at gold for myself. I saw some bearish, some bearish setup yesterday. After taking a loss, not really a loss, because on the 50, not really easy. I mean, let me break it down to you guys. Like, take some good. What is it? Take some good longs. What the fuck is this thing, man? Like, come on, man. Yeah, it's fine. I'll just explain it on the chart, right? So I was looking for longs over here. You have to take out this high before a shift in structure. Then for myself, look. Personally, I was looking for shorts. Yeah, I was looking for shorts, but I don't know what got into my head, and then I started looking for longs from this liquidity points and then all those demand zones, right? But after that, we had a shift in structure, right? Let me break it down, right? We had an impulse to the downside that broke market structure, right? We had an impulse to the downside that broke market structure. We retraced to the 0.5 retracement. It took our liquidity, and what do we see? We see the shift in structure. Remember our confluence, guys. Market structure is what is bearish into the downside. We have liquidity, which is taking out. We have the premium versus discount. Market is trading at above the 0.5 retracement at all. We saw the chalk. After seeing the chalk, we saw our supply zone, right? We saw our supply zone and then our liquidation. You guys remember the plan? Remember the rules, guys. You see, what we do after the shift in structure, after the chalk or after the market structure shifts, yeah, we have the supply and then we also have liquidation. Now look, let's go to the 15-minute time for more clarity. Yeah, now you see that this is the push into the downside that caused the shift in structure. Market took out liquidity over here. After market didn't really push to that liquidity well. Like it took that liquidity, that would be a high probability trade, man. Like it didn't take out the liquidity, right? And we had a push to the downside. For myself, I didn't take this long. I didn't take these shots. This week could have been a profitable week for myself, but I mean, I just messed it up myself. So I mean, we had a push into the downside. I was like, okay, we had a push here with impulse within an impulse, right? So I was like, okay, might have liquidity here, I have liquidity here. So I just put the penny order over here, put my stop loss here above this second liquidity high. If the market would have stopped me out here, then what I'll do then again is just to short from this liquidity point, right? What I'll just do here is just short from this liquidity point, keep my stop loss here, and then I'll take targets somewhere around 1:2. I'll take somewhere around. I'll take 1:3, right? So yeah, I mean, this is a kind of like a glue. So we can get a precise entry road. Just tap into the liquidity, and then from there, market start moving, right? So now, yeah, I'm gonna journal this trade. Personally, I don't really journal. I just keep screenshots and images of my trades, right? So now, what we have here. So now what we have here again is we had an impulse another impulse into the downside, right? Which is this current structure, right? Of course, liquidity situated. We have liquidity here, and we also have liquidity here. Well, this is a strong high, so for myself, I'll just be entering over here. I'll just be entering on this liquidity point. Put my stop loss above this liquidity point, and then my next target is going to be this equal lows right here, right? So that'll be for gold. Yeah, so still looking for some further shots, man. So yeah, if you trade gold, just continue looking for shots into the downside. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching my videos. And as you can see, fundamentals are keys, guys. You just have to follow fundamentals, right? I mean, this week could have been a profitable week for myself, but I just messed it up for myself. I took a break-even loss on I took a break-even loss on EURUSD, and then I took a single loss on gold. I mean, gold went into my direction. The second position that I took on gold went to my stopped me and went in my direction, and then the first position also was hit take profit. But guess what? The first position, I didn't take the first position. I took the second position, which got stopped out and then went in my direction. I mean, look at that, guys. So I mean, it could have been a profitable week, but I messed it up. And I learned my lesson. So I mean, and see you guys in the next video. See you guys in the next video. So ciao, or see you next week. Yeah, and ciao guys, peace.